Hello, and today we're starting our walk at Derbyshire Bridge, and we're going to be walking today up the Shining Tor and across to Cat Tor, then down to the Fernilee Reservoirs, around the reservoirs, and back up over the moor and back. So about 20k, and it should take us about just under 6 hours. Just gone through my peaks check, personal, just had a couple of days off, so I'm feeling really good. And then environment, well, the weather today is pretty mixed. It's one of those where you start the day with your waterproofs on already before you get out of the car. You know what it's going to be. It's going to be windy, there's going to be rain. The cloud layer is pretty low today as well, so might be times where we're dipping into the cloud, depends if it rises through the morning. It's fairly cool but not cold, so that's good. And then accompaniment, I'm solo, and kit is all good. Brought hot water today instead of just normal cold water. I think it's nice to have a hot drink as you go around on a day like this. And safety, told the folks back at home where I'm going, all routes shared, so looking forward to this good work, and we'll see what scenarios we come up with as we walk around today. As I started the early part of the walk, I could feel my heels moving in my boot as I was walking along. I know it's really tempting to get on with the walk and get started in the day, but definitely worth readjusting, taking that extra 5 minutes, just delay, slow down the start of the day instead of racing ahead, because you just know otherwise you're going to be ending up with heel blisters by the end of the day if I didn't readjust now. The climb to Shining Tor isn't especially steep, but it's long enough to catch people out if they go off too hard. It's the kind of ascent that feels easy for the first few minutes and then quietly starts asking questions. So how do you judge your pace when the gradient keeps shifting? On the climb up, it's the small things you notice about the group. It's that suddenly the group going quiet, the change like breathing, the group starting to fan out, and the posh name for this is anticipatory regulation. Just means spotting those moments, how you're going to keep the group together, how you're noticing those small signs like the group spreading out, or the breathing really getting over laboured. Somebody maybe in the group might have an issue with breathing, asthma, that you've got to pay particular attention to. Okay, we've got a lovely nav feature here. We've got paths leading in, or at least 4 different crossroads as this intersection, and you might be able to hear in the background the river or the stream just running down the back there, which is Stake Clough. So this puts us firmly on the map and ready to effectively start this section where we leave the woodland and we start now proper climbing up towards the top of the Tor. It's a pretty steady trot up the hill. You can see now from this position as I look around that we're just getting to the cloud layer where it thickens. Well, there we are, first leg done, and to the top of Shining Tor. Not so shiny today, the views aren't that great either, but well, you can just make out a little bit between the cloud down there, which is not too bad. And now looking at the map, it looks quite steady. We're just going to go broadly north direction from here to the top of Cats Tor. The saddle column between the two hills is pretty much about halfway, so I'm going to use that's my feature for the halfway point. So as soon as I'm going down, and then as soon as I start going up, I know that pretty much I'm halfway to the next one. So if I just make note of my time now. And the views, kinder, shutting slow, goit, long sight lines really, warning systems, cloud base, wind direction and the way the light flattened. These are cues that help you stay ahead of the weather. And over there you can just see in the background the patchwork quilt of the peat area that we're going to be walking up later. Right now we drop back down towards those trees, and beyond those trees is the reservoir. That's where we're heading to next. Just entered the woodland section now along this route as we approach the reservoirs. Obviously we lose all references when we enter the woodland, and one of those moments, you know, if you've got kids or you're wanting to get to a certain position and they're saying, are we there yet, or the classic, or is it time for lunch, when's the next break, trying to judge the distances through woodlands is a little bit more difficult. Well, I'll just make a note on the time. It's 3:05. I know the bridge is, there's a footbridge about halfway in the woodland between A to B, and that means I'll be able to assess the amount of time it takes me between here and the footbridge, and using a little skill, I guess, in flying, is that using markers of a third of a way or a half of a way, seeing how long it takes you to cover that distance, then doubling it or tripling it to find out what the ETA is when you get to your end point. That was about 10 minutes, so it should be about 10 minutes to the point where we come out of the woods, and then that'll mark the end of our northerly track, and we can start the steady journey back. This path that we're walking along was once an old railway track about 175 years ago. There used to be a couple of factories down here, one made paint and another one that made firework, gunpowder, and that was there before the valley was flooded into a reservoir for water. Above Errwood, the moorland opens out again, and after the enclosed feel of the reservoir edge, it almost comes to relief. From above you can see something easy to miss at ground level, and this is quite well managed land for the peat. Those straight dark lines aren't natural streams, they're peat gripes, drainage channels cut decades ago, and the patchwork blocks of heather show areas of restoration. How do you pick a line when the path fades across peat managed areas? Do you follow the faint paths or aim for a visible feature, or do you take a bearing? And here's a leadership nuance: which features do you trust, natural or human? The walls, the tracks, the drainage lines, they all can help, but they can also mislead. Moorland navigation teaches you to cross-check. Thanks for walking with me. If there's a lesson in this loop, it's that good judgment rarely looks dramatic. It's usually quiet, steady, and built from small decisions well made. Until next time, keep reading the land and keep leading with a smart risk choice.